Hello there YouTube. So it's been possibly 10 months, maybe 11 now, since I did the last tutorial. I'm just lazy, that's pretty much it. I really could have done a lot, and actually this channel now has surpassed my AMB channel, which is kind of funny. And I only started this like, I don't know, probably a year ago or so, maybe a bit more. But yeah, I think I should probably start trying to make tutorials again. I don't know, just really haven't been that bothered about editing in general, but I haven't forgot about this channel, and I am going to hopefully make some more tutorials. Today, as always, whenever I actually make a tutorial, it's generally because by someone's request or one of my friends' requests. So today, I've been asked to explain a bit about meshwarp and like how to do a crack on a face and stuff. And there is an MEP actually out there. It's called the crack MEP, and it features like a crack in each MEP part. I will probably link it down in the description. If I'm not being lazy, I might even put just a tiny clip here. But yeah, as you can see on my screen right now anyway, this is kind of what it looks like without it. There you go, it's quite obvious. It's fairly easy to do, and my internet isn't working at the moment, so I can't really look at anything else. But I just took a general crack PNG from the internet, put it into here, like so. Then I just placed it. So let's do it again, I guess. Wait. So I just put the crack on the face here, and I just took any old picture. You can put this on any video or anything, and it would require a bit of tracking and moving maybe, but I'm just showing you the general way of how you might go about doing it. So if you just scale this down a bit, and we can put it like around here somewhere. You can put it anywhere you want really, but it's up to you. And so we've got something like this, and you can see it's sticking out a bit. Just zoom in a bit. It's not the greatest quality of picture. Probably could have got a better one, but I've just randomly brought it up now. So there's a few ways you can try and make it a little more realistic. In this particular picture, I think you only need to really turn down the opacity a bit, and it starts looking like a part of the picture more. I also know you can like overlay things as well. It doesn't quite work on this picture because it really makes it match the color. So I generally just recommend just try messing with the opacity first before you do anything. So I'm just going to leave it like that and just turn the opacity down a bit. And the main reason why I've been wanting to make this tutorial is for meshwarp. And this is probably what you'll need if you're doing more in terms of on moving footage and stuff. Meshwarp is quite an interesting effect, and I don't think many people really know about it. It's standard in After Effects, but no one really messes with it. So you can make rows and columns and stuff however many you want. For this particular one, I only want a very small area. I don't need like tons and tons of things. I mean, you can have like I don't know, maybe 50 by 50, and that'd be crazy, and you can mess with it a lot, but I only need like 2 or 3 really. I'm gonna leave it at 2 even, that's all I really need. It's like, oh, let's leave it 3 actually, never mind. So if you touch the points here, you can sort of not squish it out, but move it around and mess with it a bit. And it would be good to like try to fit contour faces and stuff. If I want to start bringing this like quite a way down, just want to bring it out a bit, like so. It sort of stretches the picture, or not the picture, but the image that you need, so there's nothing in there. Yeah, you can sort of mess with it like that, and it looks a bit better. It's not that you won't notice it terribly in this sort of effect. But it's a little bit. The main actual thing I want to do is, and I hope I'm not going to be going on too long, is I wanted to show you this sort of effect and how you would apply mesh warp to it in order to fit the contour of the body better. So this is like a sort of a Super Saiyan sort of thing, like where you put an aura around someone. So I just quickly did this in about 5 minutes maximum. I remember I did it a while back, and again, if I'm not being lazy, I'll just put a tiny clip or picture of how I've used it in the past. But yeah, it's pretty cool, I think, and you can get it a lot better by a lot of tweaking and stuff. So I'm just going to show you how to go through this, and then I'm going to show you how I put mesh warp onto this to make it even better. So again, I just took any old pick, and then we're going to create a solid, and this will require a trapcode particular. So I'm going to be going into a bit of how particular works, and maybe probably in the future I should make a proper sort of basics tutorial, and then going a bit in depth about how particular works and how you can use it in various different ways. But I think this just for now, you don't really need to know the ins and outs of particular itself. I will sort of be explaining it how as we go along, but yeah. So I'm just going to move the point down a bit, so it's right at the bottom, because we want it to come upwards. So the direction we want to be directional, not uniform. If we left it uniform, like, just put that back in the middle, it would just come outward like so. And if we put it directional, then it will go in a certain direction. So I'm just going to put X rotation to 90 degrees, so you can see it's going upwards now. If we didn't mean to do that. So if we see it goes upwards like so. I'm just going to move the position back down to the bottom, because you want it to sort of be spreading from the bottom. Also, we don't want it to be just a point, we want it to be a box, so it spreads out a bit. What else do we need to do now? The velocity, so we need to put it up a bit. We don't need to put it up massively, but maybe about 300, 350, something like that. So it goes up fairly at a decent speed. I think it's emit size X. Yeah, so emit size X, we just want to spread out a bit. What else do we need to do? Direction spread. You can mess with this a bit. I'm going to maybe leave it just a bit up. You don't want it to be too much. If you do it too much, then it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be coming out from everywhere. But even that, nah. You just want it to be around the person itself. And again, I'm going to put mesh warp on it to sort of shape it around him a bit more. But yeah. So we have this going now. What do we need to do next? So I think we should go into particle next. We could even put in Y a bit, so it's a bit back and forth in terms of depth. Life, you just want to sort of cut it down until you hit the top area, because you don't want it to be flowing forever. So you could even maybe do it a little bit less, like 1.6 or 1.8, I think. So maybe something like that. Again, we can stretch this out with mesh warp, which is what I'll show you soon. Sphere, we want it to be glow spheres, and you can put this feather a bit down or up, depending on your preference really. Size, I want it to be around maybe 10, something like that. And then we'll put size up random to 100, so we've got a bit of variety. Opacity, you want it to be a bit different as well, so I'm just going to put like maybe about 40, I think, or 50. Around 50 I think is fine for now. Colour, I think we should change the colour a bit. So if we want it to be a traditional sort of Saiyan look, make it sort of yellow, maybe a bit more golden. We can mess with that in the glow actually, and no glow afterwards. But yeah, I think that's about it for that much. We need to go into physics next, and air, and it was spin amplitude. We want it to be about 10, 15, between that sort of range. It just makes it spin around a little bit, and I don't think you need to really change much more actually. I think that's going to be the main part that you need to do from particular. You can change a lot more if you want to. You can go into the settings and have a look at it. But I think for now that's okay for me. We need next thing we need to do. So it's not exactly looking like aura yet, but it will do soon enough. So I think we'll put some directional blur on now and leave it upwards, and we start making it like maybe 20. I think around 20 probably maximum. And then there's another blur that we're going to use called the vector blur. So this is quite cool blur. I don't think many people use it that much. But yeah, you can see sort of effect. If you keep doing it massively, then it's going to make this sort of very plasma-y look. But we don't want it up too loud, too high. We want it like maybe that much, possibly. Yeah, I think that's about alright. And so we're getting to look a bit more like some sort of aura now. Soon enough we're going to duplicate it a few times and sort of change a few things just to the original particular, just to give it a bit more sort of depth to it, feel to it, you know, like it's a bit more full around him. But for now it's looking not too bad. We do want to add a general glow, so stylized glow. Stylized glow would be up here as well, if you go to here, stylize, etc. But I'm just going to search it in here and look for it. Stylize and glow. And we just put this on here, and obviously that's a bit too much, that's way too much. So I think the intensity we're going to bring down quite a bit, maybe to about 0.3. Yes, that's okay. You can turn down or up depending on your preference. If you turn it quite up a bit, it starts to change a bit of colour, which you might want to do, but it depends on your preference. And the radius, I think maybe just up the radius a bit. That's a bit too much now. If I had a more high quality picture, it'd probably look a lot better. At the moment it looks very pixely. That's just because the quality of my picture. I just put it and stuck it in any old comp. Yeah, I think that's roughly all you need for that much. Now in terms of meshwarp, this is again a much better example. I think we should put that above the glow. Yes. This would be a much better example of how you'd use it. So I think I'm going to leave it at 7.7 at the moment. And so now if we start pushing things in a bit, make sure you want to get the points, not the individual bits, like so. If we start trying to get all this in a bit, you can bring this in like so. You can even mess with this a bit, so you can tell like it's a bit more energy looking, rather than just you can tell the particulars are there. I don't know, we're just going to sort of smudge everything around a bit, try to get it over his head quite a bit more, like so. And like I was saying, if you want to stretch it out a bit, you can stretch this up, etc. Yeah, it's an interesting effect once you get used to using it. So I think we could just sort of mess with this tiny bit more. Maybe bring this out a bit, bring this one out. Like so. And we can click away, let's see what sort of effect we get. So you can see it's a lot more sort of directional, and it flows up better, maybe. Sort of. Not 100%, but yeah. And let's pre-comp this. And I'm going to move all the attributes to new composition, like so. Oh, so there you go. Something like that. I'm going to invert it, and then I'm going to feather it in until we get a nice sort of feel. So bits of it come in like so, but it's not overtaking his face or anything. So I think that's looking a lot better now. Maybe we could use meshwarp a bit better in terms of the random sparks flying off, but we can deal with that later on. Actually now, while we got a pre-comp of it, I'm going to go in, I'm going to duplicate this one again, and I can just mess with everything, little thing here. So on the bottom one, I'm going to just make it slightly more with the vector blur, slightly more plasma-y, not too much, and I'm going to make it a bit smaller. So our, where is it? Is it particles? I don't think it was particles. No, it was emitter. To make the direction spread a bit inward, so you can tell like there's a bit of plasma-y sort of feel inside. And I think you can keep messing with the settings and duplicating and increasing, and I think I may even move the bottom one a bit. Move it down a tiny bit so it's not on the exact same bit like so. So it creates a bit of a difference, let's say. And so by scrubbing through now, there is a tiny bit of a difference. And you can make this more intense if you want. You can make it less intense. You can go up the glow, decrease the glow, whatever you really need. You can up the blurs a bit. But yeah, I hope you can see how I've used meshwarp in terms of to try and shape it around something body. It'll be harder when something's moving, but it's doable. I mean, you can like pre-comp everything and just sort of move it like that, or you can use the scale of the individual shapes and solids. Then it's easy to do. I would show you here, but as you know, I'm lazy. So I hope that's been somewhat of an interesting tutorial for you today. Maybe you won't know this, maybe you already knew this. It's a bit of a look into particular. Particular is a very diverse thing, so you might want to look into that. And I'm probably going to make another tutorial today actually, to hold you guys over for a while. Might not make a tutorial in a while after this, but just today I feel in the mood, and I haven't got very much to do since my internet is being a bit shit. But I'm going to make a tutorial on Twixtor today. I have two ways of doing it. No, not two ways, but there are two different programs I use it in. I use it in Premiere Pro and I use it in After Effects. It's easier to do in Premiere Pro, but since I know most people don't use Premiere Pro, like me or other people I know, then I will do it an a tutorial in After Effects. It's a bit kind of long-winded, but not too bad. Once you figure it out the first way, the first time, then it's easy to actually do. So yeah, anyways, see you guys in the next tutorial. Hopefully one will be out today. I'm not promising anything, and then for the future we'll see where I go along. Yeah, see you guys later. Bye.